Is the Danger Show podcast, episode 9. I am joined by the mayor of the Little Italy of Zelienople, Papa Joe, and Beth Tallarico. They own Papa Joe's wine cellar in Zelienople. And welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for being on today.
Oh, thanks for having us. We enjoy this.
Yeah, thank you. We're excited.
So I've met Beth a few times over the years. She came to the radio station a couple times when we had like country music artists in, and you brought like lunch. And we have a mutual friend named Rob Hasenflu. What up, Rob? And then I came to your restaurant a few times in Lawrenceville. You were in Lawrenceville. I think I got this right, from 2017 to 2023.
That's right.
And then you made a pretty big move in 2023. You went from Lawrenceville, which is a hot zip code in the city of Pittsburgh, a lot of hipsters walking down there to get some red wine from Papa Joe. And you moved out to another very hot zip code, Zelienople. And if there's anyone watching this that lives in the Pittsburgh area that doesn't know what's happened up there in the last 10, 20 years, I mean, I guess it started with the cranberry catching on fire and becoming one of the hottest, places in the Pittsburgh area. And then it went to Mars and Evans City and then Zelienople. I was just looking at the map and all the different restaurants and businesses right there in that small area. It's booming.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's a good place.
And now, thanks to Papa Joe, there's a wine cellar there.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because when we started, we got our wine license in 2013 when Beth and her sister Katie were both at Pitt. And they told me one day, they said, we want to open an Italian restaurant when we got to get out of Pitt. And I said, well, if we're going to do that, let's get a winery license first, because I made wine with them, actually. I made wine for 45 years. They've been making it their whole lives. And then we'll build it into a restaurant. So it was called Piazza Tallarico. It was a 39th and Penn in Lawrenceville. Really nice place. Best Italian food that you'd ever eat in your life. Beth is an Italian grandmother. She may not look it, but she's an Italian grandmother. And
34-year-old grandmother.
She used the recipes from my mother, my grandmother, and some of these recipes, this baked macaroni recipe we have is probably 100 years old. And actually the origins of that were actually closer to Pittsburgh, probably, because my grandfather and grandmother both came from had their roots in the same town in Italy, Cellar down in Calabria, the sole of the boot. So my grandmother's family moved to Waynesburg, and my grandfather, when he came over, my grandmother was born in this country, but when my grandfather came over at 18, he settled in Erie. Now, the next thing you know, the two of them are getting married. Now, how the hell does a guy from Erie meet a woman from Waynesburg? I mean, the family lived in Waynesburg.
That's pretty good ways away.
But well, what ended up happening, we heard a little bit more about it later. I kind of figured it was an arranged marriage because they were from the same town. And I'm sure it was. They never talked about it. But apparently, as we started to talk to some of our relatives here in Pittsburgh, we have some relatives in Pittsburgh too that are in that same family on my grandmother's side. And they said that a mafioso wanted to marry my grandmother. And apparently her family called up to Erie and got my grandfather to come down to marry her. And this is all third hand, but I think that's the story.
So you had go ahead, Beth. Go ahead.
Tell them about our Pittsburgh Star.
Our Pittsburgh
connection. Star, yeah.
Oh,
our famous Pittsburgh connection.
Yeah, actually, we were just talking about this yesterday. So, Joe DiNardo was actually my great grandmother's first cousin, right?
No, she was
Grandpa Frank's first cousin. So my grandpa's first cousin.
Yeah,
and famous meteorologist from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Joe said it would.
Yeah.
We actually had we had the first round of our bocce playoffs last night, and so we'll get to that, the bocce league in a little bit. But We had the first round of our playoffs last night, and everyone's texting me, "Are we going to get the game in? Are we going to get the game in?" There's supposed to be tornadoes. And I said, you know what? I said, I don't believe meteorologists anymore ever since Joe died. So I said, I'm going to make this call because I have 3 weather apps. They all said something different. One of them had a tornado. One of them had no precipitation. One of them, it was supposed to pour. You know what I mean? So I just said, you know what? I'm Joe DiNardo's 19th cousin. I got this. And it apparently tornadoed 10 miles north of us, and we were fine.
You made it.
I hope everybody up north was okay, but yeah.
So you had a restaurant, an Italian restaurant in Lawrenceville,
Yeah.
but in 2023 you moved to Zelienople and you made the move to just be a wine bar. Now you do serve appetizers, wine enhancers, but you're about the wine there in Zelienople.
Exactly. Yeah, when we decided to do the restaurant, people had asked me, "Are you going to put the restaurant in Zelienople?" And I said, this is not the place for an Italian restaurant. So these people out here, they have Olive Garden taste. And you know what? In 2017, that was true.
They're the Wonder Bread Wops, like Tony Soprano would say.
Yep. The town's changed. What is it? Delaterra's done a great job here, and they have a good business. I think, when they came in here, I thought they were crazy. So anyway, after 6 years, and it was funny because Beth was always the upbeat one, and her sister Katie was always the negative one. And all of a sudden, Beth is the one that comes up to me one day and says, "Dad, I can't do this for the rest of my life." And, the restaurant business is a bitch.
Yeah,
it's
tough.
A real bitch. And, I tell people, I've been an anesthesiologist for 45 years now. And I've been on call, every 5th day, every 10th day, whatever the hell. But their life was worse than mine ever was. So we got out. We had some friends that wanted us to go to a place with them in Cranberry. And that kind of fell through. And, having still the Katie and Beth never left Zelienople. My wife and I, Deb, we went down to Lawrenceville for a while, but we were looking around and we settled in. The place we're at now used to be Bill Harper's Power Equipment. Bill retired a few years ago. First he was a Pontiac dealer, then he was a gas station. And our now good friend Ray Racon, who owns the sign business out here, him and his uncle Jerry, or his wife's uncle Jerry, they bought the building, and they had a telephone number on the window. So we called the number. I got a hold of his wife Erin, and I said, "Hey, we want to rent your front there." The rest is history. So now that's where we are, and we are in a very hot spot. And Zelienople doesn't have Olive Garden taste anymore, although they still have a taste. The townies still have a taste for sweet wine, which we don't do. But
there is a really good place down the street you can get sweet wine. We're not sweet wine drinkers at all. And actually, in fact, Papa Joe and I, we both always say that we only drink white wine when the red's gone. So but Urban Vine right down the street, they're 2 blocks from us, if that.
Yeah.
They use Stony Run from the middle of the state, and for people that like sweet wine, I'm told it's fantastic. They do have a what's the red I like there?
I can't remember.
I think it's their Cab Franc is pretty good, and that one's dry.
Yeah,
but
they have a couple of nice dry wines, but they're mostly sweet. They're mostly fruit wines, and
we have a real great relationship with them. So if they're, if they have somebody that can't find a dry that they want there, they send them our way, and we send them. We do have wine slushies though now. So
what are your top wines over at Papa Joe's Wine Cellar?
It's really hard to say because we have some. We really specialize in obscure wines and in Italian wines, but probably our most popular has been the Petit Syrah, don't you think, Beth?
Yeah, I think so.
Which is, that's a run-of-the-mill wine. It's very good wine, run-of-the-mill wine. Our Cabernet does pretty well.
I'm a Merlot guy. I really like Merlot. Do you like Merlot, Papa Joe?
Yeah, well, I like Merlot. We don't have a Merlot.
Okay.
We have a couple things that are very similar to Merlot.
I like red. So, I mean, if I didn't have
Okay.
Merlot, I'd pick Cab usually. Shiraz, you said Shiraz. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm Irish, so I'm going to
Okay,
mispronounce all that.
it's Petite Syrah, which is
Petite Shiraz.
it's a relative of Shiraz, but yeah.
Okay.
But we have this one that I really always loved. It's called Tanat, and nobody's ever heard of it hardly. When we were down in Lawrenceville, a friend of ours went to Argentina. Was it, Beth?
Uruguay.
Uruguay, and he said he came back and he said, "You got to try this." He said they have this wine called Tanat, Tannat. That's I call it the biggest of the big reds. Really dark, high in tannins. Not a wine for everybody, but it's really good. And we loved it. So because what we did, we went to the state store, we got a bottle from Uruguay. And so I called our wine guy, Ronnie Casertano, who was at the time with Consumer Produce. Now him and Mario are down on Neville Island with Wine and Beer Supply, which is a good sized company out of Virginia. But they have everything there. And I call up Ronnie. I said, "Hey, Ron, can you find me Tanat?" He said, "Well, I'll look for it." He said, "But I don't know. You keep looking for it too." So I kept looking for it. I found it in Clarksburg, California, Sacramento Valley. It was a winery or a vineyard and winery called Herringer Estates. So I called them up on the phone. I said, "Hey," I said, "can you sell me some Tanat grapes?" And they said, "Well, if you'll contract a ton a year for 3 years, I will." And I said, "Done." So we started doing Tanat.
And that's your favorite there.
Yeah,
the Petite Shiraz. Other than that,
actually, the Tanat's been my favorite for a long time.
Okay,
but now I'm really kind of we've been doing some Italian varietals they're dark. They're Southern Italian. The one right here is one of them. This one's called Nero d'Avola.
That's my
it's originally
favorite.
a Sicilian grape. Best favorite. I like it a lot. They call it the most important grape from Sicily, whatever the most important grape means. But this is dark. It's full body.
That's what it means.
Man,
that's what it means.
Speaking of, what are the hours? I think I looked last night because I was going to try to go out there last night to grab a bottle, or I even thought about going by at lunch today. You guys are open 7 days a week, right?
Yeah. Beth, you tell me the hours.
What's the schedule?
So Monday through Thursday, it's 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then Friday, Saturday, it's 12 to 10. Sunday, 12 to 6.
Okay. 7 days a week. That's a big commitment for a father and two daughters that also work other jobs, right?
Yeah, but we're not there every day. But as it turns out, most of us are there every day, one way or for one reason or other. We tend to be there every day. We all live close by, so we're always there for the most part.
And it helps that you love red wine.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Go refill your glass, if nothing else.
So right.
So, Papa Joe, one of the reasons I wanted to get you on is because I've been watching you on your social media, Papa Joe's Wine Cellar. Everybody follow Papa Joe's Wine Cellar out of Zelienople. Papa Joe is a character. He does. I don't want to say. I mean, he's doing skits. He's got rants. He's got. I saw you were at the Zelienople parade announcing that you hated parades. I laughed about that. I thought that was funny. You're there with the microphone. This is a parade. I hate parades. I'm like, this guy's more dangerous than me. My name's Danger. But here you are. Apparently, you're standing on a boat dock, and you've done something to create a situation where people push you into the lake. And I'm always here for someone getting pushed into a lake. So here's Papa Joe recently on socials.
Cobblestone streets and some old lady yelling out the window. Here it's just like heat and more heat and more heat and water.
Oh, you're down in Missouri. Is this Missouri you're in?
Yeah.
The Lake of the Ozarks, yeah.
And this kind of goes with your character, Papa Joe, because you're there at someone's place saying how much you hate it.
It's terrible there, yeah.
And here's some more of the clip.
But anyway, there is a good thing. I have some Papa Joe's wine. So I'm kind of going to enjoy this as much as I can. This is Papa Joe Salute Day.
Oh my gosh, that's Papa Joe! You pushed that thing the other day!
Well, I couldn't save the wine. Damn it.
Oh,
Yeah.
The glass?
you lost the wine. I don't even think you lost the glass too. It looked like.
No, I kept the glass.
Oh, did you? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. So you survived that.
And it was
Well,
refilled pretty quick for him too.
But you're doing a lot of stuff to be entertaining on your Papa Joe's Wine Cellar site. And I'm assuming you probably create a lot of laughs there at your establishment in Zelienople when folks
Yeah,
come
we
in
have
as
a good time. Yeah.
You've never held back your opinions. I mean, you know, what was the old saying? Like, you know, I'm going to get on my toad, you know, I'm talking about. You're going to stand on your stool and make your
Yeah, soapbox.
Yeah.
A soapbox.
soapbox.
Yeah,
Well,
soapbox.
you're on your wine box on a regular basis, giving out opinions. Did you have any opinions about the Canadian smoke that was here last week?
You know what? Not really too much. I mean, it's just some smoke. It happens. What can I say?
Okay, all right.
Forest
Well,
fires.
It
was a pain in the ass, but
I was out here on my deck last week when it happened, and I just said, "Hey, what the heck? How's this?" You know, and I got bombarded by Canadians. Did you see that, Beth? They were all lighting me up, saying how ignorant I was. That
I didn't. I've seen a lot of people get lit up though.
Yeah. I think Pittsburgh Dad did a skit on it too. He's like,
Yeah.
these dang Canadians, and then they were just they were angry. Our forests are on fire. How dare you? And it's like, I didn't know that. I live in Pittsburgh. I didn't know. Smoke like this, I think this is bringing the steel mills back or something. I didn't know.
Yeah, I thought my neighbor's house was on fire or something. I didn't know what the hell was going on. And then my friend was like, "No, it's from Canada." And I said, "Oh, that's right."
Dang Canadians.
Yeah. I hope everybody up there is okay.
I probably don't have a real strong opinion because I almost grew up in Canada.
Did you?
Well, I grew up in Erie.
Yeah, that's
and and I'll tell you what, I grew up in Erie, and I like Canadians. And when I was young, up in Erie, when I just first became a physician, I was a team doctor for the Erie Blades. Okay. And they had these French Canadians, and these French Canadians are crazy.
You know what? I was
they're awesome people, but they're crazy.
I was a hockey announcer when I was younger, and I would play golf with all the guys, and I agree with you. I mean, we had some fun times. There were some of the guys were like from the Northern Territory, and they were telling me it's dark 6 months of the year and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Tell them about the guy that you had to give the shot to.
Oh yeah, it was funny because they somehow got the idea that B12 shots made him skate faster. So I was, I had always had B12, so I always gave him B12 shots. We had this guy, and I'll mention his name. His name was Jim Pritchard. Nice guy. Probably it was a minor league hockey team, but he was one of the best defensemen in the league. And this guy had no fear. I mean, he'd get in front of and this was back before they wore helmets. And he'd get in front of a 150 mile an hour slap shot, let it hit him in the chest and skate away with it, right? He was scared shitless of this little 1/2-inch needle that I would give him, the B12 shot. And I said, Jim, are you crazy? I said, you get in front of a 150 mile an hour slap shot, but you're scared of this needle. Oh, it's different. It's different. I said, yeah, it's fucking different.
Yeah, some people do have an irrational fear of needles. You probably see that a lot during your day job.
Oh, yeah.
So before we get to the first annual Judgment of Zelienople that you started, I wanted to show you that I'm a little more dangerous than you, Papa Joe.
Okay.
While you were getting pushed in a lake, I was at Picklesburg doing this, and I want to know if you've ever done this before.
Oh.
I rode that mechanical pickle all night long, and that's not something
How long did you stay on?
I don't know. I think she said 19 seconds, I think,
Wow.
and then I dismounted. But I don't know what it is, Papa Joe, about riding. And I'm a happily married man, but I think like 15 different ladies handed me their phone number as I was getting off that pickle. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I had to hand them right back. I was like, I'm married and my wife's a police officer. She'll kill me. But I know that I can ride that pickle, bro. I was that was weird. The whole thing was weird. What is
I'm probably
Picklesburg?
20 years older than you. And 20 years ago, I probably would have done it, but not now.
I took a couple of the girls that pushed him in the lake to the to Picklesburg, so that was their reward for getting them off the dock.
You don't have any pickled wines there in Zelienople?
No, we haven't done that yet. I do love a pickleback shot, though.
Okay.
Papa Joe and I, our favorite drink that's not wine, we like to have Jameson together. So, we every once in a while I'll chase it with a little pickle juice just for fun, but for the most part we just drink it by itself. But if anybody's never had a pickleback shot, try it.
So I heard that you guys are big mafia movie fans. Is that true?
Yeah.
What do you think is the best mafia movie of all time? What's your top 3, Papa Joe? Top 3.
My top 3, probably The Godfather's really good. I have to give it to him. Goodfellas is awesome. And probably I have to say the one about the kid in the Bronx. What the hell's the name of that?
A Bronx Tale.
A Bronx Tale.
Okay. Beth, what's your 3 mafia movies? Because I happen to be a huge mafia movie fan as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, mine's probably got to be the same. When I was younger, I used to watch Goodfellas like unhealthily. Like I would just like have it on all the time. In fact, when I was a kid, I was probably 15. My grandma, she called me one day and she said, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm watching a movie." She said, "What are you watching?" I said, "Goodfellas." She said, "Oh, I haven't seen that one." And I said, "Well, it's one of my favorites." So the next time I went to her house for Sunday dinner, I got a speaking to about it. And I said, "Well, what's wrong?" And she said, me and your grandfather watched that movie you told us to watch. And I said, "Hold on, I didn't tell you to watch it." I said, if you turned it on, that's on you. But why? What's wrong? And she was like, every word out of their mouth was the F word. And I said, "Well, you probably should have watched the TV version. You might not hate me so much right now." But no, I definitely have to agree. Those are my top 3. And I might even move Bronx Tale. The older I get, I might move that into second, because there's one scene. My dad and I are both big Yankee fans. You know the scene where Sonny confronts Caludro's dad, and he's they're going back and forth, and his dad says, "That's my son," and he says, "I caught him throwing away his baseball cards because he said Mickey Mantle won't pay my rent." That's one of the greatest lines in movie history, in my opinion. So that, and the scene where they're in the confessional, and he tells them that he witnessed a murder and all that. And he says, "All right, this many Hail Marys and all that." And he says, "Oh, that's it for a murder rap?" And then the priest gets mad at him. So those are really growing on me the older I get. That's classic. But obviously we love The Sopranos too for similar reasons.
Oh, that's all. Yeah. I mean, so I'm Godfather. I like all 3 Godfathers. I'm one of those. I like all 3. Probably my favorite of the 3 is 2, part 2.
Yeah, 2's pretty fucking good.
Okay, yeah.
Goodfellas, love that. I love Casino. I'm going way over here. I also like The Departed that came out about 20 years ago. I like that one. And I think this came out about 10 years ago. The Irishman. Have you guys seen
that's
that?
a good one.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then The Sopranos. That's
absolutely, yeah.
Does The Sopranos rank up there with Godfathers? I know Sopranos wasn't a movie; it was a series.
It's like a series of movies, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to the podcast that Bobby Bacala and Christopher Moltisanti did?
No, I have not.
It's
I should.
Awesome. If you like The Sopranos, check it out. So when COVID started, they wanted to do something. So they decided, let's do this podcast. So they did a rewatch, and neither one of them had ever watched the show. They just acted in it and moved on. So they started watching it, and they talk about each episode, and they have guests on and everything. But it's as funny as you would expect it to be. I mean, Bobby Bacala, so Steve Sharippa is his real name. That dude, he's like Papa Joe on steroids. He's fucking hilarious. So you should definitely check that out. It's called Talking Sopranos.
Yeah.
Here's a I
real
pulled
good
up
one.
Godfather trivia. I'm gonna
Uh-oh.
throw a couple of these at you real quick.
We're gonna find
What-
out when the last time one of us watched the whole thing the whole way through was.
What unexpected item is found in Hollywood producer Jack Woltz's bed? Beth?
A horse head.
A horse's head. Made him an offer he couldn't refuse. Let's do one more. You'll know this.
I'll give you this one, Peach.
Who directed the iconic mafia trilogy, The Godfather? I mean, that's you know that, right?
Come on, Papa Joe.
Yeah, Francis Ford Coppola.
That's it. What object does Vito Corleone have in his hand before he passes away in the tomato garden? Oh, he had it in his teeth when he was chasing the kids around before he died. He had like a heart attack or something. Remember?
Yeah, I got this one too.
It was
I'll let you go, Pop.
You remember what it was, Papa Joe?
No, was it the teeth or what was it?
It was the orange.
Orange.
Yeah, an orange.
Yeah. Didn't you say your grandfather used to do that to you?
Yeah, my grandfather used to do that with the orange peel with the teeth.
Yep.
I was looking for some good. I'm going to do one Sopranos trivia.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm Irish, and when I watched the whole Sopranos series, I was using Italian talk all the time.
Yeah.
I was trying.
Yeah.
What is the street term used by the characters of the Sopranos for capicola?
Gabagool.
Gabagool. Give me some gabagool.
You know what's funny is when I was a kid, so I was 7 when the show premiered, when the pilot came out. And then I think they waited like a year before it actually like got on HBO and all that stuff. But when we were young, my dad actually built the house that we grew up in. Not like, telling people what you want your house to look like. Him and my brothers and some other family members actually built the house. So we lived in the basement while he was finishing it. So my sister and I shared a room. All of our brothers are older. They were already, graduated from high school. So they stayed in Erie when we moved down here. And so Katie and I had a room, and then my parents' room was also the dining room and the living room. So after dinner, whenever the Sopranos would come on, they would kick us out and say, you have to go to your room because you can't watch this show. So I'm 10, 11, 12, whatever I am. And they would be talking like, oh, what do you think's going to happen tonight? Who do you think's going to get whacked? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm waiting until the rerun comes on when they're asleep. So I watched The Sopranos when it came out when I was 11 years old. So when I was like 18 or 19, I said, hey, Dad, you want to watch The Sopranos? And he said, yeah, have you ever seen it? I said, yep, I watched it when you did.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny you say that because The Sopranos, and it was during a time before, I'll say that, like, you don't need to put nudity in movies anymore, right? If somebody wants nudity, they can just go on an app for it or something. But there was a lot of sex in The Sopranos. Like, Tony Soprano, he cheated on his wife like 500 times, I think.
Yeah, lots of Gumars.
Yeah.
So let's get
some
to
crazy ones too.
It was.
Well, when you talk about that, the mob movies and Sopranos and all that, and we have to go back to, we all grew up in Erie. I grew up in Erie, and Katie and Beth grew up at least till they were 10 or so in Erie. And to put it in perspective for a guy that lives in Pittsburgh, it was like growing up in Youngstown.
Oh, okay.
I mean.
Yeah, I do know what that means.
And I mean, we grew up next to those people. And I may or may not still have some connections. I'm not going to mention that, but actually, it was funny because I mean, we knew a lot of them. And as a matter of fact, my dad, who was never involved in that, but his best friend in high school was a guy named Tony Ciotti. They called him Cy. And apparently, they tell the story. They were best friends. They were at a dance or something, and Tony comes up to him. Tony was going to knock off a gas station. And my dad said, no, I don't want any part of that. Well, this Cy became like one of the most notorious mafioso in Erie over the years. I think he's still alive. He's probably 95, but he's still alive. But
probably has a podcast now.
Yeah, probably.
But anyway, when I was 16, he owned the Calabrese Club, which was down in Little Italy. And I was a member of the Calabrese Club at 16 because
Okay.
if you paid $3 for the membership, you you never got carded.
What's the movie? Is it Donnie Brasco where the kid gets in? That's the one with
That's one with Pacino and
Ray
Johnny-
Liotta. Ray Liotta's
Oh.
in. Is that Donnie Brasco? No, that's Johnny Depp in that one. Which the one?
Yeah.
There's one where Ray Liotta gets in real young and they love
That's
him.
Goodfellas.
That's Goodfellas.
That's Goodfellas,
Okay.
yeah.
That's
Yep.
Goodfellas, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
But
let's
he's
go to
only
the
young in it for a little bit, like
That's
for
right.
the first couple
Yeah.
minutes of it, just to set it up. Yeah, Donnie Brasco's a great movie too.
Yeah, that's another good one.
I mean, we could go on and on with our acquaintances in Erie about, and some of the things that we've run into. But
Can you tell
let's get
him about?
into.
Can you tell him about the Dominics real quick if you use fake names?
Oh, most of those people are dead, but
Well, most of them
So
are,
there-
but a couple of them are still kicking.
yeah. So anyway, Dominic's was a little diner in downtown Erie. Okay. And Dominic's had a poker game upstairs for years and years and years. And when they finally raided him once, they calculated, they guessed that their handle was about $1 million a night in the middle of Erie. Okay. So my Uncle Frank, my aunt's husband, he had a little bit of a gambling problem. So he comes home from work one Friday and he said he didn't get paid that Friday. Well, the guy worked for fucking GE. There's no way in hell that GE wasn't going to pay this guy.
Right.
So he was my aunt's second husband, but her son-in-law, his dad was the jail warden for Erie County Prison. So he gets wind of this, that Frank didn't get paid. He calls his dad and he says, "Hey, Dad, Frank's gambling again." And his dad says, "I'll take care of it." So the way he took care of it was he called Lou Tullio, which is a longtime mayor of Erie, and he ran the town. I mean, he ran everything. He was even more important than me as the mayor of Little Italy and Zelienople. Well, they put out the word to Dominic's that if they let Frank in, they were going to get raided. So Frank couldn't gamble there for a long time.
How about this? See, I watch so many mafia movies that mafia stories with Papa Joe, where you're naming names, make me very nervous, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was ducking my head down, laying low during that story.
You know what though? If you ask him, I'm the one you have to worry about.
Yeah.
I had to kick a guy out of our restaurant, and I've had to kick a couple guys out of the wine bar, and I won't say why, and I won't name names, but when it comes down to it, I get the baseball bat out, and I'm not kidding. I have a baseball bat under the bar just in case, and we make sure that the shit doesn't go south. But Papa Joe probably has a little bit more of a target on his back because he looks the part. Nobody's gonna expect me to be I'm like the female boss on.
You're the
Sopranos
enforcer
when
there,
Yeah, exactly. I'm the muscle.
So the first annual Judgment of Zelienople. I want to pop that up. That's not it. That's me falling off.
There's
of
the
a
pickle
mechanical
again.
pick. That's it. Let's get. Hang on, I got it. Here we
All
go.
right.
The Judgment of Zelienople is August 22nd. And I heard you explaining this online, Papa Joe, and I give you credit for this. You're going to put your wine against wines from California and from Europe. And it's going to be a blind taste test, which means everyone that's a judge has to be blind. But other than that, it's completely fair.
Yeah. So anyway, the idea came from, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Bottle Shock.
I have not seen that movie.
Okay, it's actually a good movie. It's based on this judgment of Paris, which is a real thing. Okay, but basically what happened was that
I did see that. I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. So there were some Napa Valley wineries that this British guy, a British wine snob, who had this little shop, right in the middle of Paris. And I think at first he thought that he was going to really take advantage of the American wineries because he thought, everybody in France thought that in 1976 that California wine was shit. They were wrong.
Yeah.
But anyway, but anyway, he went to for the bicentennial of this country. The people in Paris were going to do this Judgment of Paris, where they were going to blind test some Napa Valley wines against some French wines, and they thought they'd kick their ass, and they thought they were going to, and they just didn't take the Americans seriously. So he comes over, and it's a long story, but in the end, he got a couple of wineries to send some of theirs over, and his son went over with his, and his Chardonnay beat the French Chardonnay in the blind testing.
And then there was that's a true story, right? Because that's what kind of put Napa Valley on the map.
Yeah, exactly. It is a true story. And so anyway, and one of the other wineries put up a red, which was probably a Cabernet, I'm not sure, that they won first place as well in the blind tasting. So then in 2001, for the 225th year, they did it again, and the Americans beat them again. So, we started, I'm marketing us as a California winery in Pennsylvania. And seriously, if I do say so myself, some of our wines are pretty fucking good.
And we do get all the grapes from California.
We get all the grapes. Well, almost all the grapes. Well, all the grapes are from California. Yeah. We make all our reds from grapes because you really have to ferment your reds on the grapes for about a week or so to get the body out of them. The whites we get from juices because you press the juice immediately, and it just makes a whole lot more sense to have them press the juice, send it to barrel rather than sending crates of grapes and then me pressing it here, because that's the only step that we would take here.
But have you done that ever? Have you pressed the grapes before?
Oh, the reds always.
Okay.
The whites never, because it's just not worth it. It's just an extra step that makes no difference in the wine.
I should have sent you some pictures. I'm sorry. Yeah. If I send them to you, can you pop them up there? Yeah,
we've done it. Her and her sister have done it barefoot. And as a matter of fact, every fall we have a wine stomping where people come out and they stomp grapes.
I love that. I love it.
In Europe, when people do the grapes, they stomp the grapes with their feet. They use that for the wine. In this country, the health departments and the Department of Agriculture kind of look down on that, so we don't do that. And I'll tell you what, we could, because somebody's feet is not the dirtiest thing that ever touches those damn grapes.
It's natural.
That's what I always say. Think about all the deer that are licking the grapes before we get to them.
Yep.
I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, I don't think your feet are. Maybe your feet are gross, but I don't think they're grosser than a deer's mouth.
No. I
don't know if you can do it in real time, but I did just send you a picture of me and my best friend stepping on grapes. So I don't know if you can throw that up there on real time.
Oh yeah, you're doing it.
Yeah.
I might be able
the kids love it.
So anyway, a few months ago, I was watching this movie for about the fourth or fifth time because I really liked the movie. And I said, we should do that. Because I'm really convinced that I'll put my grapes up against anybody's, my wine up against anybody's. And, we're not going to go up against these 1962 Bordeaux's, although we're probably better than the 62 Bordeaux's. There's a lot more. Those grapes do eventually go bad. That doesn't happen fast, but they eventually go bad. And sometimes that's more of a collector's item than something to drink.
I actually tried a 69 Bordeaux recently, and it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
If people are coming out, do they get to try? How does that work for a customer that wants to see the judgment of Zelienople?
So basically, what we're doing is we're selling tickets. We don't have them up yet, but we'll have them up. If you follow our Facebook and Instagram pages, Papa Joe's Wine Cellar, and our website, papajoeswinecellar.com, we'll give you a link that you can actually get tickets for it. We're selling tickets for $60 a piece, and we're going to have two different sets of judges. We're going to have the People's Choice judges, which is everybody that from the community that buys a ticket. And then we're going to have some, we call them expert judges, people from the wine industry, that they're going to do it as well in the wine industry. And I have a friend that's just a really wine connoisseur that knows his shit about wine. And what we're going to do is they're going to tabulate that. We're going to tabulate their results and the people's results, and we're going to see how they compare. And I'm betting that I hold my own.
You seem like the kind of guy that if you win, you're going to tell the world, and if you don't win, you're going to take that as a way to improve your wine. I don't know. You seem like you would take the challenge by the horns.
I will. And you know what? Now, if I get my ass kicked, then I'm going to use it to improve my wine, but I'm not going to get my ass kicked.
I like it.
I really believe that I'm not confident that we're going to beat them, because there's some pretty, because we're not just going to take a shit wine. You know, we're not going to take I shouldn't say, we're not going to take a $2 Chuck.
I was like, you going to start naming them?
Yeah, we're not going to take a $2 Chuck.
Carlo Rossi.
And you know,
Mad Dog 2020.
Yep.
You know, the funny thing is, I grew up on stuff like Carlo Rossi. I grew
Boone's Farm.
Boone's Farm.
No, we won't. Yeah, we're not going to take a Boone's Farm. But
Okay.
I grew up on Cribari Chianti, which is a mass-produced wine, you know, out of California. It's an Italian varietal. Good wine. I mean, you know, it's not great wine, but it's a nice table wine. But anyway,
By the way,
I'm not.
Papa Joe, that's your daughter stomping grapes there. That's the proof.
That's yeah, her and my other daughter, Gabby, who's not really my daughter, but she's my third daughter.
Oh, okay.
And I like to
she's
tell
been
my
around
first and
25
second
years,
daughters
so.
that Gabby's actually my first daughter. They don't like it too much, but I like to tell them that. She's been best friend since
right before 9/11. That's how I always remember. So it's coming up on 25 years here.
But she's family as well. Her last name's Allen. It's not Italian, but she's family. And now it's Inks right now. But
yeah, she's become
family.
Italian based on hanging out with us. She had to go to my grandparents' house when we were kids, and she ate 4 plates of rigatoni. And when we were kids, Gabby was like 90 pounds soaking wet. And my grandma said, "Gabby, eat more." And she said, "Grandma, I had 4 dishes of macaroni. What do you want?" My grandpa looks at her, and this is like a classic Grandpa Frank. He looks at her and goes, "Maybe she doesn't like your food." And he always told my grandma her food was lousy, but he, you know, would polish off the whole plate. So, so she's been around and she's had to put up with all of us.
Well,
my dad, Grandpa Frank, that's where I get a lot of my stuff from. Him and my Uncle Sam, we have a lot of pieces of work in our family.
And me, my brother Tony, and my niece Madison are not much different.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I enjoy following you, Papa Joe's Wine Cellar I think you're on Facebook, Instagram. Where else can they find that? Those are the main 2 socials you're on, or are you other places?
We're told we have a TikTok. I've never seen it. I don't have TikTok. So I don't know much about that, but allegedly we have a TikTok. I think that's it.
One of the people, Emma, one of the people who works for us, does a lot of that because she's younger, and you know, that's TikTok's beyond me.
Yeah, she does a good job. Emma Nakotra, shout out.
Yeah.
Well, also, you know what? Speaking of things that they do, they also have a podcast called the Red Sauce Podcast at Papa Joe's Wine Cellar in Zelienople. And I'm assuming you talk about wine, but probably whatever else is on your mind that day too.
Oh, absolutely. We've had some really good conversations, and we go the gamut. Probably our best one was when Larry was on with us.
Yep, absolutely.
And Larry Lagatuda, unfortunately, passed away a couple of years ago. Enrico Biscotti, one of the most wonderful human beings that ever walked the face of the earth. He was just a great guy, and he was. Him and I like to talk about subjects that sometimes get a little bit sensitive for some people, ethnics and race and stuff like that, you know. And because of our experiences,
They might be a little sensitive to that these days. Maybe.
You know, it is, but Larry was a guy that I could talk to about it, and what really was, I don't think was offensive to you, Beth.
Well, that's when you have a friend, though.
Well,
Yeah.
you have to understand that. So Larry has 2 adopted black kids. So you know he's obviously he's very accepting of everybody. And my dad, you know, when he was a kid, it wasn't. I'm trying to word this properly so that people.
I grew up a
understand what I'm
redneck from
saying.
Erie.
Yeah, and he was taught that, you know, that it was the right thing to do was to be a racist, which
Yeah.
I give my dad a lot of credit because he did not accept that for himself once he became an adult. And my sister and I, my brothers, none of us were raised that way. Because when he turned about 2021, he realized, hey, I don't have to be a racist. Like this is my choice. And he's one of the most accepting people you'll ever meet in your life now. And you know, Larry was obviously the same way. So we've had conversations that if you don't hear the whole conversation, you might think that we're totally, you know, not good people. But at the end of the day, it's you know, we're accepting of all people. We love everybody, and we're very diverse ourselves.
Hey, Papa Joe, I heard you say that you're a redneck. Check out what I'm doing this Saturday. Last week on this podcast, I had comedian Jeff Foxworthy on.
I saw some of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I warned him. I told him who he had to follow up with.
And I told him I'm going to be live on Saturday from National Armory in Moon Township. And here's how that went. Here's a clip real quick.
Okay.
Uncle Sam in a dunk tank on July 25th at the gun store, National Armory here in Pittsburgh. So I don't know. Does that make you a redneck if you're doing that? Have you ever done that, Jeff Foxworthy? Come on.
I was in a dunk tank on Ellen one time to raise money for charity, but I think I'm putting yours in my next page a day calendar. If you've ever been in a dunk tank in a gun store, Jeremy, that's not even you might be a redneck. That's you are a redneck.
So I got my redneck cred for sure.
Yeah.
There you go. I love it.
Well, that's okay. Tell them about your mother's cousin.
Oh, you got a redneck story.
Cousin.
Your
About the
mother.
taxidermist.
Oh, I apparently this has been debunked, but my mom's cousin met her. We were told my mom's cousin met her boyfriend at the taxidermist. Apparently, they just shared a taxidermist. And
That's
somehow
redneck too,
paths.
though.
Yeah, they've been together for like, I don't know, as long as I can remember, 25 something years. Are you familiar with Knox, Pennsylvania, Jeremy?
I don't.
It's right by Clarion. It's right before Shippensville.
So like I-80 up that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And actually, there's a. Have you been to Cook Forest?
I haven't been there, but I know where it is. It's up up that way.
Go there sometime. It's, you know, exactly what it sounds like. It's, you know, rednecks camping. But
I go to Ohio Pile, and that's where my little redneck is. It's probably about the same.
It's the same place.
We have cousins that own a brewery right outside the entrance to it. It's called Lost in the Wilds, and they sell our wine. We sell their beer. And I have to say it's one of the most popular things we sell. I mean, obviously the thing we sell the most of is going to be the wine. But we do have a couple local places. We use Union Brothers and Shoe Brew. Dad, in a minute, tell them about the pour tour real quick. We do use Union Brothers, Shoe Brew, and Lost in the Wilds. I think probably sells the most. I don't know if I think it's because you can't get it anywhere else. But it's also amazing. I mean, we have people that come in just for that. So
you have wine and beer on the menu at Papa Joe's Wine Cellar.
Yeah,
and you got live music tonight, right?
Yeah, we have so this is one of our favorite duos to have. I'm sure you've heard of Pete Hewlett. And he brings Joe Marone with him. Joe Marone played with the Good Guys. Pete Hewlett actually played with Billy Joel and Elton John.
Wow. So they're talented musicians.
Yeah, my dad says it's New York talent in Zelienople. So we're pretty excited. Well, they do New York State of Mind and Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. specifically for my dad every time they come. And there's nothing better than that, in my opinion. And he always says to everybody that nobody does it better, including Billy Joel. So there you have it.
Yeah.
So that's happening there tonight.
Yeah,
at,
6 to 9. And I
Papa
can
Joe's.
confirm that nobody, including Billy Joel, does better at Innocent Man because Billy Joel couldn't hit the high notes. So Pete Hewlett actually, if you listen to the live album from Kopahept, it's like one of, it was in the USSR or Russia. And he had to announce that Pete Hewlett hits the high notes for him. So on Innocent Man, it's nobody does it better. It's amazing.
What about the Pour Tour?
Yeah, hit
You
us
want to
with
talk
it,
about it,
Pete.
Beth?
Yeah.
Sure. So
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you ever been to the Kentucky Bourbon Trail?
I've been, yes, I have.
Okay, so Papa Joe's idea here is let's try to get a Zelienople Kentucky Bourbon Trail, but have it be craft beverages, okay? So, and I'll finally make fun of somebody. I won't name names because I don't remember the person's name, but I didn't want to do this on social media, but fuck it. So Papa Joe came up with this idea. We're including Urban Vine, which is the winery we told you about that uses Stony Run. The Wicked Rabbit, which is a new place in town as well. They do a lot of specialty cocktails and stuff like that. It's kind of like a speakeasy. It's a real cool spot. It's kind of hidden. You have to go in through a side door, and it's dark in there. It's cool. And then a couple local breweries are involved as well. We have Burgers Brewing, Shoe Brew, and Low Lev, which just went into Zealy in the last 6 or 10 months or something like that. So we're kind of doing like a Kentucky Bourbon Trail thing where you'll be able to get a passport, hit them all kind of thing. We want everybody to come for maybe a Saturday afternoon, see how many they can get to. Everybody bring a designated driver, please. We beg of you, because we're going to make sure that you get the best stuff in town. But when we announced it, somebody actually commented and said, "Oh, I wish Kaufman Tavern was involved." And we love the Kaufman Tavern. However, do you know what the definition of a craft beverage is?
It's something that was made here locally.
Yeah. It's not what cocktail are you going to make with Jose Cuervo. So I wanted to say that, but I didn't want to be an asshole when we're trying to promote something, but I'm over it now. So if Kaufman Tavern wants to make you cocktails, good for them. Like I said, I love Kaufman Tavern. They have a great wine selection, great food, but they're not a craft beverage destination. So no offense to them, but that's not what we're getting at here. So the six of us are.
Yenzer Prosecco. Is that a craft beverage? I'm looking at your menu.
Yeah, we
yes,
make
it
that.
is. That's our
We had to appeal to the rednecks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw Danger walking through Zelienople drinking a Yenzer Prosecco.
Exactly.
That's my story coming soon. Hey, before we go here, I know from coming to your Lawrenceville location before it closed, you guys are huge Pitt Panther fans. Am I right or am I right?
We sure are. Yep.
Yeah.
Tell me, this is going to be the highlight of this episode right here. I'm going to pump this out everywhere, so no pressure.
I'm nervous.
Pitt football, Pitt basketball. What are your predictions for the season?
You want to go first, Peach?
No, you go.
All right. I'm going to go football. I think Mason Heinzel's the real deal. We did lose a lot in the transfer portal. This is a conversation my dad and I have often. We hate the transfer portal. I love that the players get paid. I think they should, but it's fucking everything up. So figure it out. I know you're a big Memphis fan, right? So,
oh yeah.
You got Viva Cummings. He's coming.
From Lincoln Park.
Yeah.
My kids go to Lincoln Park. He's going to be playing for my school, University of Memphis. But His
dad loves Papa Joe's Chardonnay, by the way.
Does he?
Yes, he does.
He? That's a small world. Well, I mean, I don't want to hijack your Pitt talk, but my school, University of Memphis basketball last year, every player on the team was a new player because of the portal.
It's the way it is every year.
Yeah, I hate the portal too.
And you have Penny Hardaway, and they can't keep players. Come
on. I know, because all they care about is the money. That's all they care about. They don't.
It's crazy.
That's why Nick Saban retired, because they're like, oh, Nick Saban's the coach. Great. How much am I getting paid? That's all that matters. And I get it, but for the fans' perspective, it sucks. And I think it's okay for us to say that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so too. And we're good friends with Pat Narduzzi. We're good friends with Jeff Capel. The Capel family is part of our family, honestly. So we have a real soft spot for them.
So Pitt
So
football, what do you think? Is it I think it's an 8-4 or better season for Pitt.
yeah, I was gonna go 9-3. I think that's where I'm gonna sit here.
Yeah.
What about you, Papa Joe?
I agree. It's going to be up there.
And then
Yeah. And
and then
basketball.
basketball, I mean, this is kind of looking like it's a make or break, whether I like it or not. We
For
call
Capel.
Jeff Uncle Jeff,
Yeah.
because we're really close with his brother and his family. So, we've been around them a ton. They're part of our family. So, I know it's a make or break season for him. I'm hoping it goes well. And it looks like they're finally giving them some money to play with. And they have that GM. His name's Jay Kuntz. They've put together a pretty good roster. So I do think they're going to find a way to get in the tournament if they can stay healthy. But we know he's a great coach. We know he can do well. He just got here at a time where everything changed on him. I mean, he was Coach K's guy. He was his recruiter. And he gets here and he's been given essentially nothing to work with. And then, you have the unrealistic expectations of the Pittsburgh fan base sometimes. But so I guess I don't really want to put a number on it. I'm gonna say they're probably gonna win 19, 20 games. I'm hoping.
Basketball.
And find a way
Yeah.
to get in the tournament. Yeah.
What about you, Papa Joe? Pitt
Well, I'll tell you,
basketball.
let me start by saying something a little bit negative about Pittsburgh fans. And not being originally a Pittsburgh person, I kind of look at it from the outside some. And I've seen it with multiple coaches. And I've seen Pittsburgh people think that this is a destination. It is not a destination. It's a wonderful place. It's a great place, but it's not a destination. You start out, right from the bottom. And they always blame the coaches. Well, it's not the coaches. And the other thing is a Pitt organization. They want to be a quality educational institution over an athletic institution, but then they want the results like Alabama has.
Yep.
It just doesn't happen.
Right.
And then we get this guy, the new AD, and he comes in and he does a lot of good things. And then he fires two of their best assistants who are very, very good guys, nice guys, very good coaches. And actually, those two coaches developed a lot of people that are playing in the NBA today. So, I mean, they got, I have a lot of bitterness there, but I love Jeff. I mean, he's a great guy. And I think he is the right guy for Pitt basketball. And I think Pat Narduzzi is the right guy for Pitt football. A lot of people think Pat's a little bit outspoken, but you know what? Look at me.
That's what Dagos do. We're Dagos.
I appreciate that's the Italian culture. That's the Italian culture. I mean, and he says what he thinks. The other guy that's from New York is the hockey coach.
Oh, John Tortorella.
Tortorella. I love guys like that. I mean, they say what they think. But
what about
anyway,
the Steelers just hired an Irish guy? McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy. Actually,
McCarthy.
We're Packer fans. Did you know that? So
I saw it in that picture. I was like, what the?
Yeah.
We've been Packer fans since 1961. I'll let Papa Joe tell you that. But so we've been through the McCarthy and Rodgers situation before.
And now you got him here.
Yeah, we're not big fans of Aaron Rodgers anymore, but
well, real quick, I have some friends that work for the Steelers, and I had a conversation yesterday with one of them, and I really think they're going to make a run this year. I think they're going to make the playoffs, and it could be the best year they've had in a while. Do you feel that way about the Steelers? I heard that you don't like that McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers aren't in Green Bay anymore, but it's been a long time.
It's not that I was ready to move on. I was ready to go to Jordan Love. All my friends told me I was crazy, and now you guys are being put through in my opinion, a circus. But no, I always loved Mike McCarthy. I kind of thought at the end, and people laugh at me because I'm a 34-year-old girl. What the fuck do I know? But it was just kind of getting stale. I mean, I had to sit through it was the 2016 NFC Championship. No, 2013, I think it was. We played the Seahawks. We were up 15 points. There was like 4 minutes left. And McCarthy started running the ball. And you have Aaron Rodgers, the greatest player on the planet at that point.
Yeah.
And you're running the ball. We were in the Super Bowl. They come back and they tie it. We lost in overtime. I went right into the bathroom and threw up. So he got a little conservative for me, but I mean.
Did you see the picture? When I talked to the Steelers yesterday, I was like, was that AI? Did you see the Aaron Rodgers with DK Metcalf and all the guys wearing like cowboy hats on some?
Oh no, I think it was real.
Oh,
he took them on on like a retreat. He's calling it his last rodeo.
Yeah.
And then the next day he made up with his family who he hasn't spoken to in 15 years.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he did. So I don't know what the hell he's doing now, but
there's a lot of weird stuff going on.
I think especially with McCarthy being from Greenfield, I think that was the move for them. I think that was the right move. Now my dad and I think that Mike Tomlin was the guy that should have been here. And that's probably a very unpopular opinion.
He had
especially
his
when
run,
we're not
though.
Steelers
I mean,
fans,
he got 20 years, right? I mean, he had a run.
Yeah, but I mean, the guy never lost more games than he won. So
that's right.
You gotta give him credit somewhere.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that you guys, I think you're gonna be pretty damn good. I'll be honest. You got some pieces, and that defense is always dirty. So, and I mean dirty in a good way, not like they're kicking people in the balls, but like dirty, like they're good. So,
go ahead.
As usual, I'm going to be the asshole again. And I was the asshole when Roethlisberger was in his waning years. And I'm saying the same thing about Aaron Rodgers. I said probably 7 or 8 years ago that Pittsburgh would never get to another Super Bowl with Roethlisberger because he's not. When he was young, I mean, he had all the tools, let's face it, except for this, I think, but that's a different story. But anyway, as he got older and he lost some of his superhuman skills, he was not able to run 3 or 4 straight good games against the best of competition. And I think Aaron Rodgers is in the same place right now. So he may do very well over the year, but I don't see them getting to the Super Bowl, to be honest with you. That's me.
Well, I mean, listen, if he wins one playoff game, it would be huge. We haven't won a playoff game in 10 years.
And that could happen. I mean, he's still got a lot of talent, but he's just not. And the other problem with Aaron Rodgers, looking back over the years, and I loved him as a Packer, but I look back over the years, Aaron Rodgers was always more concerned about his stats than the team. And I've seen so many times in key games on a third down where he'd throw the ball away, where he really should have taken a Brett Favre chance. And
I didn't think he did that last year, though. I mean, we didn't
not last year, but I mean, for many years with the Packers, he did.
Well, how many MVPs did he win? I was like 5 MVPs.
He won a lot of MVPs.
He's won 4 of them. Yeah,
4 of them.
He won 1 Super Bowl, and I think he should have won 2 or 3.
Yeah,
and I
agree.
I think because he was too concerned about his own stats sometimes at the wrong time.
And I think, Dad, I know you're going to agree with me. Jeremy, you might as well. I think if you look at the teams and the quarterbacks that are really good right now, they all have one thing in common, and it's that they sat behind somebody and they learned. So, I hope for you guys that who's your backup? Will Howard?
Will Howard, and then we picked the guy from Penn State, Aller.
Oh, yeah, Drew Aller. Yeah.
Drew Aller, too. So we got the Ohio State championship quarterback from 2 seasons ago, and then Penn State's quarterback from last year.
And I think that we went through this in Green Bay when Brett Favre wouldn't leave. And then we went through it again with Aaron Rodgers when he thought he was still supposed to be the guy. But eventually you need to let the team move on. And, I thought that when Ben Roethlisberger was still here, you guys should have had a guy in place that could learn from him, whether he liked it or not, because, he's not going to be here forever. But even Patrick Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith, and, we look no further than Green Bay. All of our guys have sat behind somebody except
right.
Brett Favre, but So
And
it's
even the guys with big egos like Ben and Aaron Rodgers, people that play under them can't help but learn a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah.
yeah, and I hope for you guys that Will Howard and that
Yeah.
Drew Aller's going to learn from him and that he's going to take
Yeah.
them under their wing and we don't dislike the Steelers like we used to. They're not our favorite team, but no, I think that those guys could learn something from a guy like that, even if he's. And I hear that he's really good with the young guys now. So, and Jordan Love does say good things about him, but
I don't think the Steelers would keep him around if he wasn't good in the locker room right now. And I think that picture with them all wearing cowboy hats out, hanging out together is a good sign for the season because you got to mesh, right? If you all hate each other, it's tough, I think, in sports.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think the Steelers knew all along what his plan was, or do you think that they let him run him around a little bit? Because I said to my brother, I said, I can't believe they're letting a guy that he hasn't won anything for you guys yet. They're letting a guy that hasn't won anything dictate when you're making your decisions based on if he's coming back or not. Do you think that they kind of knew that he was coming back?
Oh,
What do you
yeah.
think?
Yeah, I think they knew he was going to come back. I think that they knew that he could change his mind, but I think he had indicated to them that, hey, I want to come back, but give me a couple months and then we'll make it official,
Yeah.
Because I don't think the Steelers would wait for him if they thought he was leaning towards not coming back.
Yeah, and I would hope not, and I hope that you're right, and I hope that's the case because I was like, this guy is he's just dangling it in front of him, and he hasn't done shit for him yet.
See, I think
I agree. I think that if they didn't know that he was 95% coming back, they would have moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Steelers are bigger than any player, right? I mean, they just
and they have to be, yeah. And we have a lot of respect for the Rooneys and everything, so it's. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Dad.
they're a first class organization. They really are. Always have been. Yeah.
And I hope they get a playoff win this year. They need one.
That's
what I'm.
yeah.
The Super Bowl is like, let's get that first playoff win, and then we'll start, talking. It's been a decade, which is crazy to think the Steelers haven't won a playoff game in a decade.
Yeah, and the last time you went to the Super Bowl, you lost to the Green Bay Packers.
To Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
So there's a good storyline there.
Yeah,
and even that meme. I like that meme where they say Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy kept the Steelers from winning the Super Bowl in 2011. They're going to do it again
in 2026.
Yeah.
Oh, Papa Joe,
even though I'm a
Packers
fan, a lifetime Packers fan, I do, and I might be a little bit greedy, but I do want the Steelers to do well this year. And I remember a conversation I had years ago when we used to go to Zelienople in the Strip with Nino's daughter, Bethany. And she told me, she said, as long as the Steelers are in the playoffs, we're busy.
Yep.
when
it's
they
true.
get out of the playoffs, it dies.
Yeah. So they need to have a good season for the local business.
She was just a young waitress at the time, but she knew.
Especially the Strip District. I mean, the Strip District thrives when our teams are in the playoffs. So
go Steelers.
I love it.
Oh my God, you have them on camera saying that. I can't believe I just heard that.
My dad, who was the ultimate Steeler hater, would be turning over in his grave right now hearing me say this. But
well, you got your business in Pittsburgh, in the Pittsburgh area, so I'm sure he understands. But next time we do this, I'm going to do a lot of sports roundups like this year. I got a lot planned already, and I know you guys are huge Pitt fans. So when we do something about Pitt, I'd love to have you guys back. I mean, we'll talk wine anytime, but that rhymes.
You want to talk about how Scotty Reynolds ruined my life? We can do that. We can do that.
I remember you took me upstairs in Lawrenceville and you had the Pitt room.
Yeah. We have all the plates. Actually, the most famous person that ever came to our restaurant, it was awesome. It was Reggie Miller.
Okay.
Yeah,
NBA player.
Yeah, he was doing the NCAA tournament in, it was like 2021 or something. And we made good friends with the ACC network announcers because of our relationship with the Capels. And they said, hey, Reggie wants to come to the restaurant, but he can't go out to eat because he just gets bombarded. And I said, that's fine. We have a private room upstairs. We'll sneak him up. So he comes in with a gator over his face, like those gator masks. He comes in, tall, skinny. I mean, just like he's He's smaller but bigger than you would think, if that makes any sense.
I think he's like 6'7".
Yeah, he's a big guy, but he's skinny. So we take him upstairs and he takes his mask off. He starts hugging people. Him and Papa Joe are best friends by the end of the night.
Oh,
We're still friends on Instagram. I just
a
talked to him a couple weeks ago.
great guy. Really.
Yeah. So that was our claim to fame there. He was the most the most famous person we ever got. And I also got a plate signed by Tony Bennett, not the singer, the Virginia basketball coach.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I think he still coaches there, right?
No, he actually retired. You know why? Because of NIL.
Ah, yeah.
Yep.
And actually, you know, it's funny when we first met Jeff Capel, when they came over to our restaurant, and Beth made that same comment, Scotty Miller ruined my life.
Scotty
Jeff
Reynolds,
looks at me and says, that was my fault.
Scotty Reynolds was committed to play for Kelvin Sampson at Oklahoma. And then when Jeff got the job, Scotty Reynolds decommitted and committed to Villanova.
And then
so he tried to keep him, but he wanted to go to Villanova. So so he made me a promise that day. He said, when we win a national championship here, we're coming to celebrate with you. I said, all right, let's avenge this loss together, Jeff.
Well, now they're going to have to come out to Zelienople to celebrate with us.
I think they will.
Hey, last question here. We're going to wrap this up, but do you have customers from when you were in Lawrenceville come out to Zelienople? Do you see some familiar faces?
Definitely. Yeah. That's the biggest thing I can say about this business is, you know, we said earlier, the restaurant business sucked when you're in it, but we made so many friends and people that like I couldn't imagine our lives without anymore that have become like family to us. Now when we have family dinners or dinners with our friends, we have to invite them to the wine bar. I cook in my tiny ass apartment and bring the food because it's a sense of family and it's a sense of community to us. So we have a lot of people that have made the trip. Some of them from here, some of them from there. We have people that we've met that live in Philly that come to Zelienople to visit us. So it's just, yeah, we definitely have kept a lot of the same following, and it's really become people that are more like family to us than friends.
I love that. That's what I love about, you know, hometown business, local businesses. You're part of the community. I mean, you see Papa Joe out in the parade, even though he told us he hates parades. He was out there.
Yeah, he won't miss it.
And support your local businesses. Go see Papa Joe over at Papa Joe's Wine Cellar and Beth in Zelienople. And thanks for what you're doing, bringing great wine and sophistication to the northern part of the Pittsburgh. And thank you for taking time to be on this podcast. It's a real pleasure to have you guys on.
Oh, it's been our pleasure. Awesome.
And
yeah, we're definitely in for the sports talk, and I'm out of wine because I gave him the big one. But yeah, like I said, once we get, and we're gonna do it soon, I promise. I'm not just saying this. We're gonna get our podcast back on track.
The red sauce. All right.
Yep, and you're our first guest, so you're gonna come up. We'll film in the wine bar. We'll have wine. We'll have charcuterie because I can't let people go hungry.
I like that.
There's no way there's not going to be a meatball and a piece of burrata in front of you. I promise.
That sounds like a motto right there that I can live by. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your evening. And everybody go to Papa Joe's Wine Cellar. Maybe in your honor, when I'm in that dunk tank at National Armory and Moon on Saturday, I'll have a glass of Cabernet while I'm getting dunked.
Awesome.
I'll make sure I tag you in the video. All right, guys. Thanks again. Have a great night.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Hail the Pit. Thank you.
Hail Pitt.
See ya.